At the beginning of this video, I questioned if I was a Rust YouTuber since I don't actually play the game. So throughout this video, I had the YouTubers I look up to reteach me important lessons in Rust since I haven't played this game in over 2 years. Now, I know I'm not the best player, which is pretty clear in the video, but the personal growth I experienced with a complete group of strangers is what made me turn this into a movie.
And that's a dislike right there. Fuck you, fancy orb. What? You don't understand why I just did it? Okay, that did look a little toxic. Here, I'll explain to you, but first I need to talk about something completely irrelevant.
How many of you have heard something along the lines of, the Rust community is so toxic? Probably the majority of you. This is obviously a problem because it sets a bad example for curious people considering the game. Well, there's a reason for this toxicity. Take a moment and think about how Rust is typically played.
I'm just not gonna get back on because I'm not having a good time. Sorry.
I saw a couple clips where like a girl was just standing out in the open and then a guy ran in on a horse and just shot her on sight and took her shit. Then she had to respawn on the other side of the map. And that was like after, what, like 5 hours of collecting shit. And she was there waiting to like talk and joke and just got blasted. Like, that's not fun.
I just don't have really like the bandwidth or energy to like spend 2 hours getting stuff and then lose it all and have it despawn. And then die to radiation as I'm trying to do anything. It's just too much and it's not really fun, I'm sorry.
If I was still on that server and I was the victim of that shit, I probably would have just stopped playing, to be honest. I'd probably just throw my arms up in the air and be like, well, I'll switch games. That doesn't sound very fun. Like, it's just not hard to grasp, but there's a huge difference between PvPing with like a goofy storyline and joking around, and just waiting to kill people on sight for their loot.
Yeah, you're constantly getting killed, looted, having your base blown up. Rust encourages you to start shit with people at every opportunity. Because of how much time and work is required to get ahead in Rust, losing that progress understandably causes more frustration than other games, which in turn brings out the worst in people. It makes complete sense to me why you'd see Rust develop such a toxic community, because it is designed in a way that is practically just asking for it. Now, this is the part where everyone comes and says, "Bro, that's just Rust. That's the way the game's meant to be played." I'm gonna take a few to shut down this terrible opinion, and hopefully I'll never have to hear it again.
For some reason, there's like this community of Rust cultists, these Puritans that think there's only one way of playing Rust, which is on public servers, which are notorious for being racist, toxic, and absolutely brutal and no fun to play on. And people just saying like, oh, look at these fucking pussies not even playing real Rust. I still remember the first time I was crying over my keyboard playing Rust. These guys haven't even started the journey into being a real Rust player. And as I said before, I think there's nothing more sad than these lunch table outcasts that think that their obscure game is only theirs to enjoy and you can only enjoy it in the way that they like to play it. This is not how Rust is supposed to be played. This is painful to watch. What the fuck is this? Like, it's so pathetic. People that have like 200 hours in the game all spent hitting a tree in a public server and dying repeatedly as a naked person on a beach that think everyone has to have that same experience with Rust. It's just sad shit. They're like Pain from Naruto. They've experienced so much pain that they just want to distribute it to everyone else in their fucking game. Sad. They're really garbage shit.
As much as Rust is a survival game, I'd argue that it's also a sandbox game, and sandbox games have limitless potential. Rust has a variety of different servers, such as PvE, roleplay, modded, minigames, softcore, hardcore, and the vanilla experience. Many of these modes have server tags built in the game for people to better identify them. Facepunch wouldn't implement those unless they were considered legit playstyles. Even if we didn't have any server tags, we should not be promoting this mentality in practice. If a player doesn't like vanilla Rust and they want to play in a different way, they should have that game mode accessible to them. What's next? Are you not playing real Halo for playing on Jenga instead of Slayer? Are you not playing real Battlefront 2 for respecting the 1v1? Does it make sense now why I disliked Fancy Orb's video? He does play Rust, he hosts an event server, but he's referring to this as not actually playing the game. When you use language like this, you are fueling Rust cultist ideology. Minecraft has Anarchy Servers, and it's important that community has its place, but I'm sure as hell not playing like that. I just don't find it fun, for the same reasons I don't find vanilla Rust fun. Look, I have over 1,300 hours in this game. I'm not proud of that. I've tried so hard to enjoy it. I played on vanilla, PvE, modded roleplay. None of them do it for me. I got really close with the software server, but then my base got offline. At this point, I am not convinced that there is any way I'd be capable of enjoying the game. Unless I were to create my own server, where I can set things up in any way I imagine. However, setting up your own Rust server can be a very complicated and expensive process that I've debated with myself whether or not would even be worth the effort. Last time I tried hosting a Rust server, I failed to get a single player to join it, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. The only way I'd be willing to try it out again is if I have guarantees that the project would be a success. Here's my plan. First, I will see how well this video does. If I get good enough performance, then I'll make future Rust videos detailing how I would address every problem I have with it. If those videos do well enough, then that'll give me the green light to start the Rust server. If you want to check out how my server would look, I'm telling you, like, share, subscribe. And seriously, I'm a small channel. Your input will genuinely make the difference between whether or not the project happens. Also, my Discord server is the best way for you to keep up with all my projects and give direct feedback that can further influence my decision making. If this video doesn't do well, then I guess I won't be making any further Rust videos after this one.